When you overlook traditional leaders, it's the same as overlooking the religious leaders. Because those religious leaders, every Sunday, they are sure to come into contact with a needy person, with a poor person, who will express their frustrations to a traditional leader or to a religious leader. And those people will be able to take up those issues with the political leadership. So we see the role of our traditional leaders in that respect. And with our king here, you know, he owns the land, and the EFF is at the center of the land struggle. And the ownership of the land by our people is something that is very, very special. So when the land is owned by the king, we're happy that our people will be able to access the land and use it for their own benefit.
SABC? Yes, sir. SABC News, this is Busikmal from SABC News. As you're talking about the land, one of your seven cardinal pillars of the party is a bit of a conflict with the institution of the Ingonyama Trust, which is perhaps owned by the king. He's a sole trustee of that trust. How did you navigate that complex issue of the land?
Do you know that Ngonyama Trust from time to time is supposed to give an accountability to Parliament? And once you give accountability to Parliament, you are a state organ. So the land owned by Ngonyama Trust is owned by the state, because the king is the state. When you say, let the state own the land, is exactly what the king is. When you say, what role will traditional leaders play when you take the land into the hands of the state? That question doesn't arise, because the traditional leaders are the state. So part of how you manage that nationalized land will include the involvement of traditional leaders in the allocation and distribution of such land. So we don't find any contradiction at all. And ours says the state must be the custodian of the land. And Ngonyama Trust, when people have a problem with the state owning the land, why don't you have the problem with Ngonyama Trust owning the land? Because it's exactly what we are saying. The state, the king is the state. And there's no contradiction with regard to that.
Mr. Malema, you are speaking about the role of traditional leaders in the community, and here in the province we've seen the attack of Amakosi. Some have been killed in the recent months. Are you concerned about the ongoing killing of the traditional leaders, and also are you concerned about the ongoing political killings here in the province, and also are you worried about the safety of your members, taking into consideration that in most of the municipalities they are kingmakers? And also the last one, as the FF, you are looking at strengthening your support in the province during the by-elections. We've seen that the party has not been doing well. What are you reading on those results, and what are you going to change?
Well, our party is doing very well. I don't know when you say our party is not doing well, where? Because in South Africa, of all political parties, the only party that is showing significant growth is the EFF. We have now put in place election structures all over KZN. We have sent the deputy president of the EFF to be based in KZN full-time. He's a resident now of KZN until he delivers victory of the EFF. That's how much we take this province serious. So there's no longer a ward in KZN from all corners where you can't find an EFF structure. And I've had an interaction with those EFF structures directly myself on Sunday in Maritzburg. So I'm more than happy with the performance of the EFF here. And with today's blessings of the King, our support is going to double here in KZN. We're concerned about political killings and killings of traditional leaders. There shouldn't be a killing of anyone by anyone for whatever reason. No one is justified to kill people. And the political killings here in KZN also concern us. And we've always made a call from our side as the EFF to have our members well behaved during the campaign, never to remove other people's posters, never to stop anyone from campaigning, never disrupt meetings of others, because we want the highest form of political tolerance, especially in KZN. And we are happy that during the first registration, there was no serious incident that occurred. And we wish that the next registration should be peaceful like the first one, and the election day should be the most peaceful election ever experienced in KZN. So we're calling for people to tolerate each other, contest each other through ideas and not through using guns to kill one another. I mean, they even kill old women with a gun. How do you kill an old woman with a gun in a sleep? What amount of ruthlessness is that? That is extreme form of intolerance of political landscape here in KZN. So, but we hope that people will begin to get a message and stop this thing, because it's making mockery of our democracy. Democracy is supposed to be through contestation of ideas and not through the barrel of a gun.
Vamos